Good afternoon, Mr. Deckard.
I just want you to know this is my idea.
What would you rather we do?
My job, taking out the trash.
It seems you don't think our business is a benefit to the public.
Androids like thinking of a machine. They can stop between a benefit and a hazard at a moment's notice. When they're a benefit, they're not a problem. When it's a hazard, that's where I come in.
You have to convince yourself that androids don't have feelings they can retaliate.
I just imagine it's a metal and circuitry trying to invade society by replicating it. Get the test subject ready. I like to get as quickly as possible.
Have you seen a butterfly?
It's beautiful. I've seen a lot of artificial butterflies, so I might not be as impressed as some might be.
Artificial? Why do you assume it's artificial?
What happens when butterflies died out in the fallout of World War journals?
No, Mr. Deckard. It's as real as you and me. We have private sources to generate this.
I assume you never saw your butterfly?
Of course not, Mr. Deckard.
So when am I going to test my first test subject?
Right now, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Eldon Rosen, head of Rosen Enterprises.
So when am I going to see my first test subject?
Right in front of you.
I don't believe I've heard your name.
I'm Rachel. Rachel Rosen.
Why do you always test her?
She may or may not be an android. I know which it is, but I'd like to see if your test can determine it without prior knowledge.
I don't see the point in this struggle.
Lights off.
Okay, so now I'm going to outline a couple of social situations. Be sure to respond to as quickly as possible to each situation. Also, feel free to respond verbally, but I will only be measuring your eye muscle and capillary reaction.
Go ahead, Mr. Deckard.
You're given a capsicum wall on your birthday.
I wouldn't accept it. Also, I'd replace the person who dared to reach with me.
You have a little boy to show you his moth collection, including his killing jar.
I took him to the doctor.
You're watching TV and you suddenly discover a wasp carving your wrist.
I'd kill it.
In a magazine, you come across a full-page color picture of a nude girl.
Is this testing whether I'm an android or a homosexual, Mr. Deckard?
Your husband likes this picture. It's a girl lying face on a bearskin rug. He likes it so much he hangs it in the wall of his study.
I certainly wouldn't let me.
Okay, now consider this. You're reading a novel written in the old days before the war. The characters are visiting Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. They become hungry and enter a seafood restaurant. One of them orders lobster, and the chef drops the lobster into a tub of boiling water while the characters watch.
Oh God, that's awful. Did they really do that? It's depraved. You mean a live lobster?
You rent a mountain cabin in the area, still verdant. It's rustic knotty pine with a huge fireplace. One of the walls, someone has hung in old maps, courier, and eye prints. Above the fireplace, a deer head was mounted. Full stag with developed horns. The people would be to admire the decor of the cabin, and we will all decide.
No, not with a deer head.
You become pregnant by a man who has promised to marry you. Then the man goes off into the woman, your best friend. You get an abortion and...
I would never get an abortion. Anyhow, you can't. It's a life sentence and the police are always watching.
How do you know about that? About the difficulty of getting an abortion?
Everybody knows that.
It sounded like you spoke from personal experience. One more. You're dating a man, he asks you to visit his apartment. While you're there, he offers you a drink. As you stand holding your glass, you see into the bedroom. It's decorated with bullfight posters. And you wander in to look closer. He follows after you, closing the door, putting his arm around you. He says,
What's a bullfight poster?
Drawings, usually in color, very large, showing a matador with his cape and bull trying to gore him. How old are you?
I'm 18. So they close the door and what does he say?
You know how bullfights ended?
I suppose somebody gets hurt.
Bull, at the end, was always killed. Final question, 2 parts. You're watching a movie from before the war on TV. A banquet is in progress. The guests are eating raw oysters. The entree consists of boiled dog stuffed with rice. Are raw oysters more acceptable to you than a dish of boiled dog? I guess not.
Lights on.
You're an android. That's the conclusion of the testing. Miss Rosen, I'm right, aren't I? Rachel, not an android. I don't believe it. I want a bone marrow analysis test on you now.
Legally, I cannot be forced to undergo such a test.
Rachel lacks empathy because she grew up on Silent Free. She was born on it. She spent 14 of her 18 years living off a tape library that the 9 other crew members, all adults, knew about Earth. Then, as you know, the ship turned back 6 of the way to Proxima. Otherwise, Rachel would never have seen Earth, anyhow, until later in life. And you would have retired her, and this had been anything other than a controlled test. So what do you do now that you've determined a human is an android?
It's departmental matter. I have to cancel all further tests. I guess Bryant was right, and this wasn't a waste of my time. Thank God I bounty hunting on the basis of this test.
If you classified a Nexus 6 as a human, that would be a whole different matter. As it is, if you'll remember, your position is bad morally. Ours is not.
I suppose I'm not going to be able to test any real androids. You guys dropped this schizoid girl on me, so my test doesn't work. I guess it's too late now.
Yes, Mr. Deckard, we don't see the Nexus 6 model is going away anytime soon. Neither should you.
How would you like a butterfly?
I doubt I'll ever have a real butterfly.
That is what you want. Practically there.
Tell him he can have the butterfly, the one over there.
You can have the butterfly if you want, as long as when you finally enter a mate, you allow it to reproduce.
I want to test you one more question from the void contest. My briefcase. Nice, isn't it? Baby hide. 100% genuine human baby hide. Thanks for showing me. That's all I wanted to know.
You're leaving? What about the other 9 test subjects?
The test has been adequate in your case. It's clearly still effective. Did you know she was an android?
No, she's a Nexus 6. Artificial memories. You began suspecting, didn't you? You don't have to be afraid. You're not one of the escaped androids he's looking for.
He's right. Good day. So is the butterfly real?
Butterflies artificial. There are no butterflies anymore.
I'm gonna earn that money, money. Every cent. Pause it. You have a little boy show you his killing jar, including...
Do you have to convince you? Dang it!
You're given a calfskin wallet on your birthday.
can have the butterfly if you want, as long as you finally accept your mate you didn't allow to be.
I want to ask you more questions. Please start that.
You can have the butterfly if you want, as long as when we come.
Okay.
Test can determine it without prior knowledge.
I don't see the point in the struggle.